So Ireland's Fittest Family is basically a show where fit families compete against each other. 9 years ago, adventure racing was having a surge. GoPros and drones were accessible, and having that new way of filming helped to make this show possible. It's been really great to see the show being made in several countries around the world, and I'd really love to see a British one someday soon. The families are basically put through events to test their fitness, so I'm going to jump in and show you what worked. We learned that bogs worked. If you throw competitive people into a bog, you're always going to get drama. And there was also something really compelling and funny about watching people struggle in mud, and it's still one of our toughest events to date. This event here is called a bog breaker. Each family nominate 4 people to race against each other. Sorry, the screenshot's a bit blurry, but on the right-hand side, you see a 50-year-old man pushing a 17-year-old girl out of his way from another family. So people were behaving in ways that they wouldn't believe. Our bog events are still a favorite on Fittest Family, and characters are being revealed. 12-foot walls are a staple in adventure racing around the world. So from the start, we always used walls. It's just a simple wall built out of wood, but when placed in an intense race, they cause so much drama. What else? Where else would you get a mother standing on her son's head and get the opportunity to scream at your siblings? And the audience were also loving the drama they were causing. Maybe on. So they were becoming, this is a wall that this lovely woman here called Granny Hurley got over on her own, much to her son's delight. She'd actually done 100 marathons, but this is the moment that she still hangs up as one of her favourites. She didn't actually win the race, but she came second. Ramps are another favourite obstacle of mine. Firstly, they actually just look really good as an obstacle in themselves. At the end of every show, the bottom 2 families compete in an eliminator, and the drama always happens on the ramp. Exhausted families come to life, and the audience at home watch with their pulses racing. So this was a winner for us. Races are won and lost by a fraction of a second, so families will literally do anything they can to get on top. This is a dad being dragged up a ramp by her hair. By the daughter's hair. She forgave him because they went on to win the race, which is obviously the most important thing in Ireland's Fittest Family. Families are losing themselves in the moment, and that's compelling TV. Hanging Tough is one of those events that was a turning point for the show. The event is straightforward enough. You literally hang on as long as you can, 20 feet over the Irish Sea. What I love about this event is now we've created a fitness test that allows for unlikely heroes to emerge. We can get our cameras right in up close, and we can see their expressions as they drop into the sea. On the bottom right there, you see a young man called Niall from Wexford. He went and blew the competition out of the water that day. Hanging Tough, where we were going to push it to its limits. So we decided to hang the families from the floodlights in the stadium. When I pitched this idea, I was secretly hoping they'd really say no, because I didn't sleep at all until it was over. The docks is like a visual party for me. Here you see a fender that was in the water, and I just loved how it looked. So I asked the Coast Guard to pull it out, and I decided to make it into an obstacle. So here you see we're finding objects on location that we build into an event. On the bottom there, you see some of the obstacles lined up. And for me, just seeing obstacles lined up makes my brain happy. Containers, I love containers. On the bottom there, you see an event called Crane Drain, where 4 containers on top of each other. They just look really, really good. And on the right there, you see the arena challenge. And that was basically, we convinced the docks to give us as many containers as we could. And then we decided afterwards what to do with it. So this one here is called Vertigo, where 2 families race off a building on balance beams. We wanted to keep the show growing, so we got help from a stunts company in LA to pull this one off. It's the most expensive thing we've done, and it did push our families to their limits, and we got some great content out of it. Our coaches on the day couldn't even watch, and it was important to feel like we were growing. So last year, COVID hits, we all know. The broadcast industry literally shuts down, but because Ireland's Fittest Family is filmed outdoors, we get the green light. I was absolutely terrified, and now the most important thing is to keep our families and crews safe. We felt strongly that this show needed to break from the COVID terror on the TV screens. Like everyone, I was frustrated. How could I create anything within these restrictions? And the production costs were mounting for the team. I walked and went to parks like everyone else with my sons and started to get back to basics and take every day as it came. Here is my son standing, balancing on a tree stump. And I like that. Inspiration can come from anywhere. Soul Survivor is a balancing event where one member balances up in the treetops with one leg while their family moves sandbags. This is Aoife O'Rourke, 17, and she lit up Twitter for the evening and people were calling for her to become the next president. So you see, we're working within the COVID guidelines. And we're also giving the audience the heroes they now need more than ever. We learned that we need to strip back and go back to basics, go back to telling the stories of these families and create moments that we learned in season 1 in the bog we could get. So in between changing nappies, here's Rossa clutching onto his dad's arm and his head swings back. That's an interesting angle for a camera. Where can we go with it? So bog bath's an event where people clutch on over a bog. It's extremely hard in the core and legs, but again, one exposing character. So this season, don't worry, we did keep all the other events like walls, mud, ramps, and all the other tricks we knew worked so well. But we just made sure to keep our families 2 meters apart and cleaned and disinfected and kept everyone safe. This is the last event I'll talk about. It's called Back Against the Wall. It originated on the Croatian version of the show. It basically is people seeing how long they can stay seated in the seating position. I love this for its simplicity and how the audience could try it at home, which they did in the droves. Sometimes you got to draw on what you have at hand and know it's the right time to bring in a new event to the table. This is Paddy. He's 14. He became a little hero. For me, I learned a lot this year. I learned that no matter what the event, it's the storytelling that matters. At the end of this episode, Paddy runs up a ramp alone, and I think it gave people a little lift during the bleakest of COVID times and reminded them that anything is possible. This year, we reached the biggest audience ever. TV is very simple. It's just about people. So no matter what you do, if you tell the story of the people, it will be a hit. For those of you who are expecting my talk to be about attractive, hot, fit families, I do apologise. And thanks a million.